Hi everybody, my name is Brigitte. I am a medicine woman and metaphysical practitioner. You can call me many things: an energy healer, a channel, a light worker, a human being most importantly. What I do have is experience in the plant medicine space, and this video today is particularly coming out because I'm sitting in the emotion. And of course, it's always good to be discerning when one is sitting in emotional spaces brought upon by a trigger. The discernment comes in whether the message given is about that emotion or about the message behind it. And I believe that this video today is about the message behind it. Essentially, I just want to come out and say, I think it's an absolute shit show sometimes. Although I understand why it is happening, how plant medicine facilitators out there in the world are really fucking things up. To be blunt, to be honest, we have to come back to a space of integrity. We have to come back to a space of understanding and honoring the initiation process within a lineage. We have to come back to the soul contract. Is it your contract to be serving this medicine at this level in this time on planet Earth? Are you in alignment, or is your ego running the show? Are you aligned to the Hippocratic Oath in one way or the other, where it's first do no harm? Of course, we're stepping into metaphysical spaces here on psychedelic medicines, entheogens, tryptamines, and there is a lot of preparation that is required. Of course, we are stepping into the unknown and bringing clients into the unknown. However, there are very few souls that should be leaving these spaces with PTSD. It happens because, remember, each soul is unique. Each soul has a contract. And sometimes that contract is for that soul to potentially go into a dark night of a soul, one that is questioning their reality, one that is in a bit of confusion. And it is then the practitioner or facilitator's duty to offer assistance through this ascension process, bringing in the metaphysics here. But when this is not given and practitioners are merely, fulfilling ceremony duties and functions, giving medicine and saying, thank you guys, enjoy your lives, head back to work, awesome, then I cannot help but think that the ego is running the show, or possibly some entities, whatever. The point is, are your clients leaving understanding what they have just stepped into, understanding what is required of them as a soul on their ascension path, their journey to awakening, how to integrate these processes? And of course, when it's a shit show in the evening at ceremony space, in the ceremony, and practitioners are unable to hold a space ethically in a high vibration to bring in protection mechanisms and to make sure that people are opening their energetic centers and connecting to the Akashic, the soul records of themselves, whether they understand that or not, are your practitioners able to do this? Are they able to ground you? I don't know, man. I'd love to have your comments. I mean, Justine and I, my colleague, call her the Celestial CEO. It's a cute little name, but ultimately, we've had this discussion, and it's a podcast that I haven't actually released yet because I can't find it, but I will, about indiscretions within ceremony space and facilitators potentially not being able to hold the space. Know thyself. What size group are you able to hold the space for? How much experience do you have? And the scary thing here is that I'm particularly clearly speaking about something in specific, which I'm not going to go into, but this particular group or identification of a facilitation has been in this game for over a decade. And yet these indiscretions to the nervous system, to the health and the mental health of another human being are still happening. And what's really sad is when there's a beautifully huge false light blanket over all of this. The ego says, I did it. I mean, I just made it through by the skin of my teeth. All right. And psychedelic experiences are not going to be easy. I'm not saying that, but this is surgery, people. This is surgery. We are dealing with the psyche of human beings. And when that false light matrix comes in where a participant believes they have now reached a certain state of being because their dopamine has been checked and they said, okay, cool, now I've done this ego death experience. Thank you, facilitators. So we go into guru worship here. Thank you, facilitators, for allowing me this opportunity when the mental body has no fucking clue what's happened. And of course, I'm not saying that, these downloads are understood and come immediately, but from the story that I've just heard, and you can hear from my, the intensity in the way in which I speak, it's like, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted, and more importantly, I'm concerned. So, without me babbling on too much, do you know who you are going to? For what reason? With what objective? To heal what aspect? Do you know if those people have been through initiation processes? What have those initiation processes been? Do you know if they are connected metaphysically, meaning understanding what is happening in the higher dimensional aspects? Because there's many of us as human beings that can take plant medicine and deal with our plant medicine beautifully. But there are very few that can go into the metaphysical realms and assist correctly, seeing through and seeing even further through and seeing even further through at what is behind the false light matrix. So this is my message to you guys. I'm going to end it off there. I mean, I could do a whole workshop on this, I guess, but ultimately ask the right questions. Do not disempower yourself through a process. Do not guru worship. Know that you are there for the medicine. And there should be a beautiful post-ceremony integration process available to you. Because unfortunately, and I don't want to say these words, but unfortunately, based on the story that I've just heard, your energetic system, which is speaking to your physical system, your nervous system, maybe even more post-traumatic stress now, post-ceremony, than it was prior to ceremony. And that completely takes away the point of healing. All right? So check in with yourselves, dear ones. Much like everything in the world now, question everything over and over again. Empower yourselves. I know this is not a space that you will know, but you need to be able to ask questions and come back and ask yourself, does this sit correctly with me? Because ultimately this comes to a process of spiritual consent or soul consent or consent, full stop. What are you consenting to? The absolute demise of your energetic body, your physical body, and your psyche in a time and a space on earth where we need to make sure that we are strong. Again, I'm not saying healing is not difficult, it's not tough, but can your facilitators hold the space is my question to you. Please drop any comments below, subscribe, like. I'm just kind of moving back onto YouTube because I realized, I can't do many teachings in 1.5 minutes on an Instagram reel. So, yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any personal stories, please bring them in. We spoke about this in the podcast that myself and Justine were doing on Galactic Conversations. So if there is anything out there that you want to discuss or questions that you may have, please drop them in the comment section below. Subscribe and I will chat to you soon. Ciao.